Hello, friends. Welcome to this podcast, Supply Chain Control Towers from Data Silos to Decision Speed. You are aware this is our podcast channel, Center of Excellence Pharma 4, where we discuss about latest developments into technology, pharmaceutical supply chain challenges, digital transformation, and how we will achieve Pharma 4. Let me give you a brief idea about our concept of Center of Excellence Pharma 4. Dr. Jayan Joshi, that's myself, have developed this concept, keeping in mind a cutting edge initiative for revolutionizing the pharmaceutical industry by embracing the principles of Industry 4. We discuss about emerging technologies like cloud, artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, blockchain, robotic, chatbot, and how these technologies can contribute in achieving operational and supply chain excellence. Keeping this in mind, we have designed and developed a lot of content onto our website respa.com. We have also developed a course, Smart Manufacturing in Pharma, which has got 20 modules, which is available on Udemy platform. Our YouTube channel was launched about 5 years back. Today it has got about 370 videos. This covers from business strategies, about emerging technologies, industry challenges, and going up to the software validation, change management, and everything. Podcast channel which you are listening is a 102nd podcast onto our channel. To support to all this knowledge content, we have also launched a book series on Amazon platform, which is available on Kindle as well as paperback. There are more than 9 books are there now covering the various topics. I'm sure this will also help you to understand how we can move from analog systems to digital transformation and achieve operational and business excellence. I suggest all of you to subscribe various channels so that you always get latest updates for our side. In this session, I am going to discuss about control tower excellence, predictive analytics and artificial intelligence, exception management and responses, performance recovery and continuous optimization, collaboration and communication, customer communication and external integration, autonomous decision making and intelligence evolution, market dynamics and strategic value creation, implementation excellence and technology integration, future directions and strategic implications. What we are really looking and expecting into a supply chain control tower is a real-time visibility and monitoring about the data, which can help in taking a right, accurate decision. This is the importance of end-to-end visibility. Cornerstone capabilities of pharmaceutical control towers is very important, which helps to achieve 88% of implementation maturity. This leads to improvements, and 95% improvements can be achieved due to transparency into supply chain management, which is very important. You want to get a real-time data, quick data, accurate data, which can lead you to take a decision. All our digital transformation systems are helping data-driven decision making, which is what is there, which leads to 60% faster issues identification, either into disruptions and all, which you can take a necessary corrective actions. Data integration is most important challenge. We are moving from silos-based analog systems to seamless data sharing, and this aggregate data sharing from the multiple sources helps you to create a unified views of the supply chain performance. In earlier system, integration was a challenge. There is a complexities on the companies where multiple ERP instances are there. We have a ERP, we have a LMS, we have a QMS, we have a MES, we have various such systems are there. And integrating all that is a big challenge. In digital transformation, we help into that. So traditionally, isolated systems need a coordination, which is what is really going to help to achieve into digital supply chain management system. How it works? These are the points which I want to discuss it out. IoT sensors integration is the most important thing, which really helps to capture the data directly from the machines. Multi-tier supplier monitoring is required. We look forward for upstream visibility and disruption reduction. We want to achieve at least 40% reduction into supplier related disruption. You have already placed an order with the supplier, but supplier has got some challenges, so he could not produce the product or materials to support it to you. And because of that, you may face a disruptions into that. So comprehensive tracking system is really required, which is really a benefit from the control tower capabilities. That's what is the advantage. Importance into pharma companies is there basically because critical raw materials are required, active ingredients are required, and these are coming from the distant suppliers. This is where it is essential to manage the complexities into supply network. So where control tower capabilities can contribute. They can track the regulatory approvals, quality certifications, monitor the capacity constraints across the multiple supplier tiers, and provide the early warning about the potential disruption to take a necessary corrective action. Now, machine learning disruption and prediction is also a benefit from the control tower, which we can expect it actually. This helps to achieve higher implementation maturity, maybe 78%, 80%, and all that. There is accuracy into the improvement. So deliveries get improved by 70%. So prediction accuracy helps you to reduce the disruptions and all that. Advanced warning capabilities are there. It provides a 48 hours advance intimation warning capabilities into supplies and all that. So this is where the role of control tower contributes it. So into supply chain control tower, these are the benefits which you can really expect it. This enables corrective actions before disruptions, and that gives an impact onto the patient care, the patient centricity, patient getting the confidence with your products, suppliers, and it's what very important. Data analysis is going to contribute a lot. Analyzing a vast amount of data, including weather patterns, geopolitical event, supplier performance metrics, transportation delays, and historical disruption pattern. Value to the pharmaceutical company. This helps in valuable contribution to the pharma companies by preventing the supply disruption which can impact onto the patient's access to the medications and all that. So these are the benefits from the control tower. The next is AI-powered risk assessment. We are looking for the transformations into the pharma industry by improving the supply chain control towers, which can bridge up the fragmented data ecosystem. As we know, the data is getting captured at various operations. various geographic location, and this gets compiled at a control tower level, and that helps in a fast decision making capabilities and all. Strategic convergence of technologies. This real-time visibility, as I mentioned earlier, helps you to take a correct decisions. Artificial intelligence and predictive analytics helps you to autonomous decision making. It on its own, instead of manual decision making, it system driven decision making, data driven decision making, and these are the benefits of control towers. So proactive integrated command centers are generated which anticipate the disruptions and help you to optimize the performance at a manufacturing level, at a distribution level, at a logistic level, and all. And this coordinates the responses across the multi-tier supplier network. And this helps company to plan for the market growth and its impact. And all. Next is I want to discuss about the demand sensing and forecasting. As we know, this implementation of maturities and improvements is really required. Demands are fluctuating due to many reasons and all that. So this control tower really helps in coordinating with everything, and that helps to develop a maturity which can be achieved. Maybe to 80-85% can even continuous improvements will go on contributing, which can really go on improving further. Forecast accuracy plays a very important role because the entire business cycle starts from over there, which goes on continuing into the integrated business planning, procurement planning, manufacturing planning, and all that. And this has got a impact onto the entire supply chain management. Advanced analytics, as we discussed, AI also helps in combining with machine learning can help you to improve onto the traditional earlier methods of forecasting. You get a real-time market signal, which helps you to work out in a better planning and all that, which gets integrated onto your supply chain control towers. So this gives you a value addition to the various pharma companies because the various factors like demand, disease outbreak, regulatory approvals, competitive dynamics, healthcare policy changes. There are so many factors which are going to contribute to demand forecasting, demand planning, and all that. So traditional forecasting has a earlier its own limitation, which have been resolved by this supply chain control towers and all that. So demand sensing moves to next level, and changing market conditions are really helpful. Now this also requires to have a automated alert generations and all. I'm going into more detail basically because I want to you to get a feel about the capabilities of the supply chain control towers. So this will lead to the implementation maturity. And as you go on improving your maturity, there is a better performance into the supply chain. And this not only the maturity, but how quick the data is moving. So if the enables the 20 minutes response time, so that can contribute a lot. And that helps you to reduction into manual monitoring. It's basically gets a data-driven monitoring and all that sort of thing. It's a continuous performance analysis. And this where you can move to the intelligent system so that you analyze the supply chain performance against your predefined levels or your expectations as per the plans and all. And also triggers the alert messages, depending upon your requirements from the customer point of view or patient's point of view, whether it's a logistic or into warehouse or into planning or into procurement or something like that. This is a continuous process, and this goes on helping essentially to the pharma companies to achieve the targeted shipments going to the patients or the customers, and also controlling this is very important. Another benefit which you can really expect it is the exception-based workflows which are getting triggered when you are moving to the supply chain control towers. The high implementation maturity, as I discussed, can really help you to achieve the better implementation processes. It will also reduce the repetitive routine tasks, which are automatically getting automated through the data capture, data analysis, integration of the data, and that drives the quicker, better, right, accurate information. And supply chain control towers can give you the complete visibility onto a dashboard and help you to build a more value addition to the pharma companies and all. So these are the different types of response procedures get help to take. And this will lead to the elimination into the delays. If there are any delays at any process is there, that will be triggered, and you as a manager or a decision maker can look out at details and decide the alternatives which are available, evaluate those alternatives and take a corrective actions and all that. So dynamic response taking is the orchestration is most important thing. I'm again more and more repeating is that this maturity of the data, data capture, data integration, data-driven decision making helps you to improve onto the maturity and faster recoveries and all that. And that helps to coordinate into the various operations. As I mentioned again, there is a demand planning, there is a sales and operation planning, there is a purchase planning, there are manufacturing planning. All these various activities get coordinated. So the different resources, different stakeholders and all, they are all working onto the same wavelength, same seamless data and all that sort of a thing. And this can really help in coordination with the responses, and multiple functions get integrated like manufacturing, planning, quality, regulatory requirements and all that. And this is where uh, response time gets reduced and all that sort of a thing. The performance recovery monitoring is there, implementation maturity is achieved. This will lead to the KPI, that's the key performance indicators achievements into the improvements. Also, you can go on monitoring it. You can have set up your own targets, whether into the production, whether it's into productivity, whether it's into the utilizations of the machine, whether it's warehouse capabilities or the plant deliveries or something like that. So this really leads to the importance into the pharma companies onto the entire supply chain by reducing the disruptions and all that. And continuous monitoring can help you into that. So continuous monitoring can help you to build up a continuous improvements into the entire process and all that sort of thing. So the all the skills which are going to operate this entire system, they go on learning from the exceptions and then the response cycle times. System can also really give indication or alternatives also. It all depends upon how you build up your artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms and all that. But the continuous improvement, continuous understanding can really help you to improve all those processes and all. And the various patterns which are observed during this maybe period of maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or maybe 5 years and all can also go on identifying those opportunities for preventing such disruptions and all that sort of thing, taking a corrective necessary action. And that can create a dynamic environment. It will be particularly beneficial to those stakeholders for taking a decision, either at a shop floor level or at a distribution logistic levels or something like that. That's what is in the end. And this is where uh, control towers can contribute a lot actually. Now, when we are really moving from analog systems to digital system with a digital transformation, we are really looking for a cross-functional integration. And control towers really help in capturing all the data, as I mentioned in the starting from IoTs to machine shops and all the data goes into a cross-functional integration and all that integration really helps in building up a maturity into the systems and will build the improvements into the entire operations and all that, whether it's a manufacturing system, whether it's a distribution logistics systems and all that. And that data is available to all those stakeholders who are into the relevant supply chain management and all. And then this will reduce those earlier database silos and will have a better collaboration across the all pharma functions and all that. That lead to the decision making and all that. Now, supply collaboration platform is more important. I look at it as suppliers because no, these are the activities which are beyond your control. No, you can manage your own activities, but suppliers have to be supporting into that, and that data accuracy leads for a better decision making and all. So building up a transparency into all those things really have a more maturity, and that gives you a contribution onto your communication systems and will have a add-on value to the pharma companies. No? So from the multiple stakeholders like from patients, healthcare providers, regulatory authorities, commercial partners, logistic partners, suppliers, uh, supporting partners into contract manufacturing, all are getting integrated, and all that data in a real time is available onto your control towers. So that is what is the biggest benefit which we are looking at it. So you should really look at for a long-term, short-term plan to build up those supply chain control towers. And this is what is the objective of discussing into the details about the uh, need of the supply chain control towers and all. And this will also lead to a customer communication automation. The customer, when I say, is a patients who are really going to get benefited from your products in timely delivery at a right time, at right quality is more important. So communication with them, once you have accurate information, then that is available to all various stakeholders, and automated systems can really update all this information. So patient is concerned about this order status, delivery schedule, and if there are any potential delays are there, what are the delays, reasons for the delays. And when we are not looking only at a patient, but even the hospitals, pharmacy, healthcare systems and all that, all everybody will get integrated into that supply chain control towers. And this will eliminate those manual delays of upgrading the data and all this thing, which will help you to improve the system performance and all that actually. Then there are possibilities of external data integration is also really required, which leads to the decision making and predictive capabilities and all also. So improvements in anticipating those challenges and all is really required. Now, when we are really looking at it for the external, that's basically your products moving from your warehouse or logistic locations reaching to the customer. The external data like a weather system, traffic system, port authorities, regulatory agencies, market intelligence provider, all also contribute into your maybe possible disruptions or something like that. So you have to also think about it, integrate all that. And this is what is the value of at a global operation. Now, all these pharma companies are now working into a global environment, and also there are more challenges are there. And this is where supply chain control towers can really contribute a lot, actually. Now, autonomous inventory rebalancing is also a challenge because, as I mentioned in the starting, demand fluctuation, demand planning is the most important thing. And that leads to the stock optimization. You cannot have a high stock because it's blocking your money. If you reduce the stock, then probably you may have a risk of losing the customers and all. So balancing and rebalancing about that inventory is most important thing. And this is a continuous process. No, you cannot just go on fixing up of your inventory level based on to your past data, maybe things and all. So automatically relocating the inventory needs real-time data. And this real-time data is also projected onto your supply chain control tower. And this will also consider the supply constraints and all that. And that will lead to a better your distribution management and all that also. And the correct accurate data from the supply chain control towers will help you to respond to your demand patterns and all that sort of a thing. Another application which also really is useful from supply chain control towers is the route planning. As I mentioned earlier in the last slide, maybe the geographic some issues are there or weather challenges are there. So you may think about alternative routes or this route planning and all that sort of a thing. Or holographic data interfaces can be taken into consideration, link up with the supply chain data and decide about the route optimization so that you also have a control onto your distribution cost. At the same time, you are also considering the availability of the products to the patients or the customers or something. So this is where integrating with the supply chain information plays a very important role. So supply chain control towers contributed over here. This also leads to a safety stock adjustment, as I mentioned into the last slide about the inventory rebalancing. So implementing based on to the stocks available, market demand and all that, you can recalibrate the stock levels which are to be maintained and all and work out accordingly so that your stock levels, reorder levels, your minimum levels, you can go on reworking it out and all. And go on keeping, as I mentioned until the last point, is the optimal inventory buffers. You can go on creating it. So this will go on changing the inventory conditions, the stock positions and all, and it will work it out. So you need not have to really only fix up only considering the traditional old stock levels or something. It can be dynamic. It can go on working on its own and do that investment into the inventories and all. Automating it expedite the decision. So finally, as I mentioned from the very beginning, the stress is on our decision making. And I'm sure if you are confident with the data, if you get a right data, based on to your experience and all, you can plan it out the necessary corrective uh, decision making and all. So we always stress on to the data driven decision making. It's not should not be onto your memory based decision making. We have to think it from that angle and all that. And this is where I'm again mentioning it. Decision intelligence integration. So now you are going to take an intelligent decision. You are not going to take only the uh, based on to traditional memory based decisions and all. And this is where the integration of the entire systems plays a very important role because you know the market condition, you know the suppliers availability, you know the material availability, you know the contract manufacturing capacities availability and all that sort of thing. So this really helps, integration of the data and based on to that your intelligent decisions are really worked it out. So adoption to the changing conditions, you have to really think about it. You have to optimize the processes continuously. You have to predict the operational challenges and all. You have to work onto the real-time data-driven decisions and all. Predict maybe the equipment failures, material availabilities, skills availabilities and all. But then that can really lead to you to the operational excellence and compliances and all that sort of thing. Now, what is the market expectation? The market growth is going to be very, very fantastic. If you see some predictions from 2024 to 2030, it's maybe expected around 3.5 times actually. 23% CAGR is expected actually, as based on to the supply chain visibility and artificial intelligence and machine learning and all that sort of thing. So this is commands a 38% market onto the control tower, and real-time visibility will work it out. Supply chain operations will dominate by 68% of market, and out of that, North America leads to be 38% and all. So as we discuss, a lot of area, a lot of benefits and all that, but every such product needs a investment because you are transferring, you are investing into hardware, software, you're training to the employees, your trials and all that. But if you look at the operational saving, there could be a possibility of 10% reductions into the total inventory, 5% improvements into service level, 5% reductions into manufacturing costs. So there are substantial benefits are there into from manual systems to the data-driven decision-making systems with the control towers and all. Now, from the strategic point of view, there is a faster time to market, improved customer service, which enhances the resilience during the supply chain disruption, and ability to respond to the changing conditions rapidly and all. Now, this, as I mentioned earlier, also you have to work onto the platform architecture, systems integration. You may have a various systems like ERP, the warehouse management system, TMS systems, and all. So you have to maintain a lot of data regarding quality, security, real-time performance, from the warehouse logistics suppliers point of view. Technical complexities are increasing because it's a contribution, integrations of the various technologies. Like we started with the cloud, AI, IoT, blockchain, and all that. So, and then the implementation challenges are there since the earlier systems we used to have various different data structures and all that. They need to come onto the same seamless data sharing and all this. So there are a lot of those challenges are there. But cloud-based tower performances can really help you contribute a lot into developing, building up such supply chain control towers systems and all that sort of a thing. There will be a lot of advanced capabilities without, say, infrastructure may be available when you adopt to the cloud technologies and all that actually. And various advanced technologies which are available again, as I mentioned earlier, is AI, ML, IoTs, which are going to contribute it over there. And this is going to have a continuous platform improvements as you go on learning about the plus minuses point, the strengths and weaknesses. You can always go on improving all this. So it's going to be a continuous process. It's not a project which you can plan for a particular time period and finish it off. It's not like that. No, it's a continuous thing. And this is where the contribution of holistic approach is really required. We always talk about the head, heart, and hand. They are all going to contribute into this actually. And another important thing for the success of supply chain control towers is the change management and automation. The working and all onto the comprehensive change management strategies and all transitions to the functional silos to the integrated operations is really required. Fundamental change are required from the organizational structure. This requires sustained leaderships and all. Investment into the organizational development is essential for success of the supply chain control towers and all that sort of thing. Skill development is required because there are different skills are required for the data analysis, exception management, cross-functional collaboration, supporting to the regulatory compliances and quality management. And this is where you can also take a contribution from the not only internal skills but the external expertise about the technology, about the pharmaceuticals adaptation about this technology into the various teams or various companies or onto your industry platforms or something like that. And the investment into the human things is also required. Emerging technologies and next generation capabilities are also to be taken into the considerations where, again, as I mentioned earlier, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, robotics, chatbot, all those are to get it integrated. We have to also think about the autonomous supply chain networks by adapting to the continuous changes into the market conditions and all that. Predictive analysis is going to contribute it. Minimum human intervention is really advised and all that. Blockchain integration is most important thing which is really required from the pharma cyber security point of view, because we are interested that no third party products should really get it into our system. We should be able to track it out the system from the raw material to the starting of the production, finishing, going to the warehouse, to the distribution, logistic, finally to the patient. We should be able to track it out the entire sequence. And this is what is the objective of building up a digital supply chain management and all. Blockchain really contributes into this. This is where it goes on helping ensuring the data integration and the security and all that stuff there. So product authentication, its verification is required. This is also a need of the regulatory compliances and also an audit trail is really required. This can really contribute it. And that strategic competitive advantage will help to lead your company as an industry leader. So strategic value will get developed by adoption of the control tower mastery and all. Operational efficiencies and innovations is really going to support to it. Enhancing the regulatory compliances will assure the patient safety. Transformation control tower will help in achieving the excellence. This will bridge up a gap between the global supply chain requirements and the patient access and all that sort of a thing. This implementation will build a key capabilities about real-time visibility and predictive analytics. Exception management reports and collaborative communication will be available to all the stakeholders. And supply chain intelligence will go on building it up and all that. And this is where again I'm coming to that. It's a continuous process. It's a long-term process. It's not a small project which will get finished up in a time drawn, but it's a continuous process which really you should look at it and think about it and technology participations and all. So I had tried to discuss some of the key features, requirements, and how it will helpful for the pharma companies to value creation, lead to improvements into productivity, performance, profitability, and all that. So all these concepts are again discussed maybe in short or in the details at the various videos and on the platforms or in the books and all also. So we strongly suggest, strongly recommend, do subscribe them. You will have a continuous upgrade information from this particular thing. And that is where it will help you to build your own career, your own capabilities, and that will contribute to your organization to achieve business and operational excellence. Thank you. Bye.